Sahana vavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryankaravavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's start from the beginning to give us again a map how you and I came here and why are we still here. So we started out from avidya. Avidya, we said, was beginningless. It never started. It was not meant to make you ignorant. No one's punishing you. There was not one moment when you were knowledgeable and then fell from grace. There was no entity who punished you or cursed and said, you will now not know who you are. Anyone who is born because of ignorance. Now this ignorance of what? That I am the whole. And therefore, because I have ignorance that I am the whole, a superimposition gets born. Adhyasa. Superimposition. Just like when we have ignorance of the rope, or maybe we'll use a different example of someone that you haven't met, and we have these assumptions about them, just because they're in this school. I've experienced it myself. Just because I'm a teacher, there's an assumption. The student doesn't get that assumption, but the moment you have a label attached, teacher, onto you, there's an assumption. They're like this, they're like that. You say one word, and then it gets taken, and a whole story gets created around that. What I said just downstairs to this fella, oh, my throat hurts for now, I don't want to talk, you know. One word was enough for this fella to say his throat hurts because he doesn't believe in Krishna. One word. Ordinary, hey, right now I want to rest, throat hurts. That's it, 3 words. My throat hurts. Your guru's throat hurts because he doesn't believe in Krishna. Think about this. This is real life. We're talking coming from high authoritative figures, big institutions, a lot of support, a lot of community. Real life. This is Adhyasa. At every level, starting from avidya. Not having knowledge about oneself, about the world, about what connects us all, that we're all manifestations of Ishvara. All of that is gone. Therefore, I have no choice but to create my own projections. And then I live from those projections and then justify it. It becomes rational. So superimposition leads to false rationality. What do I mean by false rationality? Big houses get created in the name of that superimposition. And then you other people will support that, income goes up, the word gets spread. So imagine how much of this world is driven like that. And this, maybe we'll bring it to ourselves. How we are doing this in our own circle, to our close ones. Maybe not in all areas, but in some areas. How we are doing this unconsciously. I remember as a small child, I used to do it to my brother. Maybe you did it to your sister. And your brother does it unto you. I did it unto my brother. He's evil. I'm going to get him. Or I'm never going to talk to my mom again because she denied me ice cream. So convinced by that. And then you're in this bubble and you're living, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. Now, part of those bubbles get popped. But the other part, they're so subtle, they permeate, they percolate throughout personality. And thereby, personality becomes normal. Normal personality projecting outwards. All because of avidya. Giving birth to atyasa. Not only at the level of personal superimposition, personal bubbles, but also in relative to the whole world. What connects us, what puts us together here, that is gone. Therefore, atyasa becomes now heaven. Now when you go to heaven, again, same thing. Now I don't even see heaven for what it is. I see it for what I want it to be for me, because you still carry a mind that's still superimposing onto heaven. So it's not like people go to heaven and now they're all sort of this one unifying, because different minds go to heaven. Therefore, every mind still continues to project. This is a phenomena all across the lokas. You still have a mind. Maybe there's less projecting, more things are more clear, but there's projecting nevertheless. And then in heaven you say, I want a better world, because there's a hierarchy here. There are those who are enjoying themselves more, they have more privileges. Now I want to get up. Same story as on earth. I want to rise to somewhere. So this is all just samsara, like this, spinning around, churning inside the cycle. It just never ends. And this atyasa, superimposition, produces you see yourself, Brahman, as one being, and the being does action naturally, right? You're a doer, I'm an individual. A doer does action. Okay? Action always has to produce seen and unseen consequences. Unseen consequences go in your causal body. Causal body produces another physical and subtle body. Subtle and physical body. So why are you and I here now? Because of this. This means somewhere here we have not addressed what needs to be addressed in this map. And what have we addressed or have been addressing for a long time? Atyasa. You see? We've been addressing it, we've been feeding the snake, pampering the snake, nurturing the snake, talking nice words to the snake, pampering the body, feeding the body, educating the body. And thereby, what is the cause of it all? Avidya. And this one was never addressed. Therefore, this whole thing kept going. But what's the center of it all? Avidya. Therefore, Vedanta comes into your life and it says, you have to start with what you are used to. You can't just go out there. We have to start here. I have my hands, my body, my mind. This I need to start using neti prakriya. Using 3 bodies and 5 koshas. And then we discussed how these 5 koshas are just functions. They only become koshas, by the way, so we use the word 5, kosha. They're only covers, because kosha means cover. Okay? They're only covers when they actually cover. That means when you actually take your physical body to be you, to take your thoughts to be you, cover, okay? Then it becomes a kosha. But if you see it as just a functional unit, just a functional component of what makes one individual up, then it's not a kosha. Now it's just a functional thing, a blessing. that I can use to figure this out and remove ignorance and solve the problem. Therefore, the moment I remove ignorance, what happens? Your body still remains. Thank God it remains. Because suppose you get moksha and you understand and you disappear instantly. Who would then want to pursue moksha? Knowing that the moment it's attained, death is going to happen. I'm going to end. It will be fearful. No one would want to pursue moksha. Because because you're having this sense of, this is me, this is me, this is me. I'm sorry, moksha is the end of me, the one that I've been reinforcing myself to be since beginningless time. That's the end. No thanks. It's too much of a stretch. So Ishvara again has nicely designed it such that I understand who I am, and I still open my eyes and I see the same personality, same person, same memories, same everything, nothing changed, because that is Ishvara Srishti. Ishvara Srishti. Ishvara Srishti just means Ishvara's creation. Okay, you didn't create it. Srishti. Okay, I came with it. It was given to me. Therefore, Ishvara Srishti remains as it is. And then, having this body, one can still now enjoy life. For one final life, you enjoy the vision of oneness. No more two-ness. It's now different. A little bit different in the sense of understanding and appreciating Ishvara's glories and gratitude, spending time in gratitude and doing your love affairs with friends and traveling. One last life to experience your glories. Sure. So the question is that what if you got moksha and then Alzheimer's, or Alzheimer's and then no, because that's not possible. Where does Alzheimer's happen? At the level of awareness or the mind? Therefore, once the knowledge takes place, once the identity shifts to awareness, the mind can burn, the mind can forget, the mind can, be electrocuted. It's, thank God not, but it will be painful, but it doesn't affect I. Yeah. Therefore, you better solve the problem before these things happen. Okay? Once they happen, it's not possible because it's person suffering, they're forgetting things. It's just not possible. Miss the shot. You'll get another round next life. So this means, it's amazing, good question. That means pursue this while you're healthy. And yet we want to kind of put this vanaprastha, later on, sannyasa in life. When? 70, 80, that's when sannyasa is. While you're active, fresh, dynamic, still strong, got that prana in you, that is your best golden opportunity. Therefore, there's little excuse for waiting, because we've been waiting for a long time. Okay?
It's got to do also with what you questioned yesterday. Like you said, if you have the knowledge, you let it go.
Dementia may come, Alzheimer's may come, okay? And that person, the wise person with Alzheimer's or dementia, they may not be pleasant anymore to hang out with. But they know who they are. They solved the problem a long time ago. So now they are safe. And yet you look at them and go, there's no chance. But you don't know. How do you tell who's a wise person? Excellent, you can't. What are you going to look at? You're going to look at their physical body? By compassion? There's many people who are compassionate and wise. They don't know who they are. The only way that you can tell who has moksha is their understanding is aligned, their vrittis are aligned with the reality. So it's an internal thing. What you understand, your internal vrittis, that vritti jnanam, is aligned to the reality. There's no discrepancy. It's perfectly in line. At the level of the jiva, at the level of the world, at the level of Ishvara. Alignment. I don't see that because I only see with my eyes a physical body. Therefore, it it is not possible to tell. Okay? So, we are solving avidya. And avidya, we said, we cut through or by Mahavakya. And that's what Mahavakyas do. And Mahavakyas will be now expounded as we proceed with the verses. What is a Mahavakya? It is a statement that, or description of who you are. You still need to hear who you are from the authority of the scriptures. And that which you hear has to be relatable. So I can't tell you you're kuku kaka. Like, what is that? What is kuku kaka? I have to tell you something, the scriptures have to tell you something that you instantly connect with. Otherwise, it's a belief. Therefore, if we just stop at na iti, then we keep on negating and negating and negating and negating, which is wonderful, but you're negating atyasa. And how big is atyasa? Infinite. So this means that I can infinitely start to negate, but I'm not going to solve the core issue of avidya. So Mahavakya attacks avidya, ignorance. Clear so far? Simple model across Vedanta. This is the showing us how we got here. So, speaking of these Mahavakyas, we're now still kind of transitioning. I am different from all the bodies. So verse 31. I guess this is still maybe na iti. We'll see. Avidyakam shariradi drishyam buddhavat ksharam etad vilakshanam vidyat aham brahma iti nirmalam. Bubbles in an ocean. They are popping out of the ocean. They are sustained by the ocean and they resolve into the ocean. The bubbles in the ocean, suppose you are one of them. You're an expression, like one bubble is always being like popping for a while, it's does its part. And were you ever just that bubble? Knowing that the whole thing is you, water is you, through and through all things. Okay? So this means you right now are like a bubble in the ocean. And that bubble has a personality. It's a lovely personality. And that personality was never the water. It was just the bubble. It seemed like I was that bubble owing to the upadi, which is okay. I can leave that alone. I don't have to negate it. Because what I'm trying to negate is nothing but water. I don't have to negate my thoughts, negate my body, negate my life, negate my personality. Leave it alone. It's a blessing. I use it to contribute to the society. That's the self-expression of every bubble. Every bubble has that duty. We talked yesterday, swadharma. Swadharma. That is self-expression. Now, in that swadharma, the bubble is doing its part and it's expressing outwards to others. It's doing its little part. And every time it does, it gets a chance to reveal its blind spots because it's in the world. Every time we are in the world and someone triggers us, someone says something, perfect. That's your opportunity. Reinterpret immediately through the eyes of Vedanta. So playing this role as an expression, my question to you is, do you have a default fallback when someone triggers you? Because when we get triggered, are we now suddenly bringing this whole vision and thinking about this model and all these technical terms in our minds when we're triggered? I haven't experienced that, even in myself. Just a simple person like at the dentist. Long needle, long drill. Oh God, please, please let this work out. Simple person. So the question is, playing your role as an expression, one bubble in this ocean, knowing you're the whole water. For the while, for the time being, there's one bubble here, called Andre, called the show, called Jens, and so on. What is your default fallback? That reminds you that I am a participant in this ocean. What is that default feedback or default fallback? That instantly lets you know, hey, this is just a play of bubbles popping in and out for a short time. They're manifestations of the one ocean, whose truth is water. I have to do what I have to do, minimizing chance for being triggered, for emotionally being corrupt, minimizing that chance. How do I minimize it? What is your default fallback? That simple teaching that touches your heart instantly. Mine is always one. Hey, this person is a manifestation of Ishvara. For me, that works every time. And then all I have to say is that one statement, and then the next teaching follows. I don't even intend that. But one simple statement that really touches you emotionally. That's why Vedanta has to touch you emotionally. That's when it's really taking hold. And that fallback is your refuge while playing the role of the bubble. Therefore, that fallback we need. So before we go home, I would like to request you to discover your fallback. What is your fallback? Your little soft cushion, soft bed that you can just drop by. Get triggered, let me drop by. Remind yourself, and it empowers you. Hold your ground. Hold your ground. I am here, I'm an intelligent human being. I am doing all I can. I am studying, I am praying, I am spending all my time doing exactly what the scriptures are saying. I'm a worthy human being. I have value. I am trying. I'm not out there doing other things. Doing this, the most highest use of my time. You get reminded. You have value. So what is your fallback that reminds you of your value? Makes you carry yourself high. With humility, of course. I want us to discover that. To carry ourselves in this world, in the shopping center, downstairs, upstairs with friends, carrying yourself with humility high, because you are Brahman. You are the whole, not a little bubble in the ocean, popping in and out. This is incidental. You are the whole. Now, if one side of the brain is saying, I'm a small being, and the other side is saying, I'm Brahman, you see this? It's not going to work. We're fooling ourselves. Therefore, I want us to discover that fallback that keeps on reminding you again and again and again and again until it's so entrenched in the mind, there's no chance of failure. It's so entrenched and it's personal and it makes sense to you. It speaks your language. Your language, not somebody else's, not teacher's language, your language. That is our task before we go home. On the airplane or driving, this is to be in our minds. Because I want us to learn, as we will have more time in this retreat, to start to see the world a little bit differently. We are used to seeing the world through forms. This is our default. This is our default fallback. What is something deeper than that? As I said, this is intelligence. One level deeper. I want us to learn to see the world more than the eyes can see by engaging your mind. That's the only way. Otherwise, the eyes are programmed to see just forms. So we need to just slowly slow down and say, hey, I'm looking at the whole. One manifesting as the many. It's effort. It's not just some random moksha and suddenly it all clicks. It's effort. And even after knowledge takes place, it's still effort. That's called nididhyasanam, follow-up.
So in this case, when you say fallback, it's a synonym for your own Mahavakya.
Yes, excellent. So your fallback is your own Mahavakya that touches your heart. Not your partner's heart, your heart. Your partner may think it's ludicrous, but to you somehow it works. It works like magic. Discover it, and it may change. Therefore, be on the lookout for that. It carries you forward like your boat, constantly in this, which is also made out of water. A boat made out of water, you're a bubble in the watery boat, cruising along on the water. The whole thing is water. Therefore, we give due credit to forms, but also remembering and recognizing our nature.
I think, Andre, for me, it's you see through the bubble and you understand cognitively that ultimately it's water. Just out of ignorance, the bubble thinks that it's a bubble.
Yeah, this is perfectly excellent language. Yeah, this is how I think also. Yeah, cognitive recognition. And it takes some time. As I said some time ago, when I go in the forest, perfect opportunity to look at the trees, not just as trees, but look at them as a deeper connection. These trees have been a seed once, and there was manifestation of intelligence giving birth to this tree now that I see. And I'm seeing intelligence now, which is putting itself together in the appearance of this tree. And this very tree is made out of the same stuff that I am. And then I appreciate, wow, look at my own Maya presenting this subject-object. Subject-object. I can appreciate that. But the truth of the subject is Brahman. The truth of the object is Brahman, because it all reduces. That's the fallback.
Me, up till now, it was, I don't decide what happens. Yeah. So everything is Ishvara.
Nice. This is your language. It speaks to you brilliant. And I want you to be also flexible. Be okay. There's no need to say, oh, maybe I was saying this, it's not really true. No. What makes sense to you right now, that is your fallback. And that's going to carry you firm and strong, upright in this world.
I think I've got different ones for different situations.
Okay. Yeah, different minds.
There is no other or something.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, so you may even have different ones. Excellent.
So for me, this the study of the Vedanta over the years is, I think it is the only subject that gives you the real possibility of playing with perceptions. And perceptions is what triggers life.
Perceptions.
And you know, I mean, when I was young and I lost my dad when I was very young, at 13, and this Sanskrit teacher appeared before me and she said, look, there was sadness, there was problems of how are we going to get over financially, finding our grounding. So there were so many things to question us. And so it was a shock, it was brutal. And this teacher of mine, she said, look, it is tough. And you can't do anything about it. He's gone, he's not going to come back, but you have to live. And so she said, I'll teach you the Gita. I'll teach you Sanskrit using the Gita. And she said, why am I doing it? She said, because you can play with your mental perceptions. The people around you are looking at this departure of your dad as something which is black, which is dark, which is insurmountable, which is a curse.
Yeah.
But she said, if you understand what I'm going to teach you, you can see this as a gift to you because you are worthy of much more. Maybe it was good to push my ego, but I played with it, I held on to it. I said, why did my dad go and not my neighbor's dad or the other's dad or somebody else? It was me on this huge universe. So somebody knew very well that I could get over it. So it infused so much of confidence. I said, it's just a stepping stone. I mean, he's finished his task and it opens my tasks that are awaiting me. And I said, wow. And then after 1 month, I brought smile onto my face and I could see my mom beginning to smile, my brother beginning to smile, and I said, it is contagious. And after all, it's a mental game. It's nothing. And he still has been gone and he's not going to come back. But then I said, I'm not going to live this text. All my studies, everything gives me the tricks to trick the world. But this, it helps me to trick myself and say, give a kick and then look at it. Something is black, but you want to see it white today.
Yeah.
You have the possibility. Nobody stops you. And then look at it white and tomorrow it comes back to black. And for me, that opens a vista and a liberty that nothing else, no money, no bank account can offer that.
Yeah.
I play with myself and infuses energy, you know, I mean, take all this as a game. Somebody slaps you, perfect. Somebody kisses you, that's wonderful. Life goes on.
Yeah. So,
And that's, whew,
yes.
you know, once you taste it, no, you cannot leave it. It becomes a part of you every time you keep calling it, and it
Yeah.
is there. It's
Yes,
there.
yes.
Whereas people change.
Yes.
Somebody who tells you you are the most beautiful, in 10 years' time they can trample you and then throw. But this text tells you what you are prepared to.
Yes, so she's speaking from that confidence.
Beautiful.
That's confidence.
Beautiful.
Fallback.
Yeah.
This is, yeah,
It's true.
this is your fallback. Perishable bubbles. So suppose now you say, after this discussion, what do I do, you know, now that I've understood this? Just pause in that moment. What do I do? The bubble does as it's always been doing. It's got its own impressions. It's like a software. You're basically like a software, your bubble. There's a hardware and a software. The software is all the programming and the conditioning. The hardware is the physical body. And this software has always been operating. And that software and hardware was never I. So the body, the question just doesn't arise. Like, what do I do? I'm actionless. That's my nature. I'm actionless awareness. Why am I actionless? Because everywhere. I'm all pervading. So my body will continue doing exactly what it likes to do, what it wants to do, to contribute, to give. If it wants to teach, it will go and teach. If it doesn't want to teach, even after you know the knowledge, it's not going to teach. That's up to the body-mind complex. Okay? As for being an instrument of Ishvara, that is also a possibility. We have two kinds of intuition. We have Ishvara's intuition, and we have more of a slightly memory-based intuition. For example, there was a story of a fireman who brought his 5 firemen into a kitchen, and they noticed a huge increase in temperature in this kitchen, and there was no fire. And they were a little bit confused, like, we know something's wrong, but there is no fire. And the fireman just got this impulse, this intuition, and he said, get out right now. And they all got out of the kitchen, and the floor of the kitchen collapsed because the fire was underneath, and it burned through the floor. Now, how did the fireman come to this ascertainment? He inferred high temperature, collapse of buildings, unseen fire, something's off. They don't kind of quantify that accurately, but something's off. All of that information was in the firefighter's mind, brain, working it all out and making that unconscious decision, get out. This is one kind of intuition. We call this intuition, but it uses a lot of information and it all happens in the background. You don't even recognize it. This is how we say, oh, my intuition that she's my soulmate or he's my soulmate. So I picked up some, maybe they remind me of my mom, my dad, those traits that really value, that I value, that I'm comfortable. All of this happens in the background, and then we kind of make this conclusion in the background. We say, I have an intuition of this. They are my, soulmate. That's one kind of intuition. The second kind of intuition can be more, a little more pure. The pure kind of intuition is it's just like there's no inference required. There's no logic required. There's just a simple, innocent bubbling up. This has to be done out of nowhere. Just this has to be done, and you go. This doesn't feel right. I have to go. Where does this come from? I don't know. Can't even explain it, can't even quantify it. And then later on, you discover, my goodness, it totally didn't make sense. The firefighter can now quantify and say, there was some fire, there was no fire, there was heat, there was something was off. He can quantify it, he can give you logic. But the second kind of intuition, you can't quantify it, you can't give it some hypotheses. You just say, it just came out of nowhere. That's a different kind of intuition. Now, which one it is, we don't know. So all of this is also part of the bubble. This is all at the level of the bubble. Glories of the bubble. In the presence of awareness, this is all still a bubble. And therefore, the question of what do I do, right, after knowledge takes place is just not valid. Do you understand why I say this? The question doesn't apply. What do I do after knowledge takes place? You can say, like, what if, as long as you mean I as in the body mind, what has to be done, right? I'm not now saying the person's like this unconscious, like they have with the Ramana Maharishi. Sometimes they think, but if he's beyond this, then who's doing? This is a common question. Who's doing? Who's talking? And this one guy couldn't answer that because he didn't have the methodology. And I remember listening to the interview, and he was like, yeah, he's... And I could hear he didn't have the right answer. He's an author of Ramana's books, a popular author from the West. And he couldn't answer a simple question of, but then who is it that's moving his body? Who is still, if he's not there, if he's, beyond it all, who's still doing? And this guy couldn't answer. In Vedanta, we answer this easily. The empirical body has always been doing. It was never you to begin with. It was Ishvara Srishti. An empirical body, mind was always doing. It's even doing right now. It is not I who is doing this. It is not I who is now sitting and listening. I am pervading Andrei's mind. I am pervading Tanya's mind. I am pervading Otto's mind. I am pervading all minds right now. In the presence of I, why is there experience of Andrei from this standpoint? Because there's Andrei from this standpoint. Why is there experience of Daisy from this standpoint? Because there's Daisy from this standpoint. Why is there experience of dog from this standpoint? Because there's a dog Upadi from this standpoint. That's why there's a different experience. Because what generates experience? 5 koshas. This standpoint's experience is different from this standpoint's experience. All standpoints experience is different from all standpoints experience because it's a different instrument, a different appliance. You're a fan, I'm a toaster, someone's an air conditioner. Therefore, the experience will always be different. But one light, because of which there is innocent knowledge, innocent awareness, choiceless awareness that there is experience, that is Atma. There's choiceless awareness from this standpoint, there's choiceless awareness from that standpoint. That's because awareness is all pervading. Pervading this mind, the past minds will continue to pervade future minds. Therefore, who's doing this right now? Who's sitting? Or what is sitting? That's a better question. What is sitting now? Yes, Ishvara in the form of this instrument. Ishvara in the form of this instrument. Think about this. It is not I who is now moving from here to here. This is Andrei. Programmed to do that according to what he learned, what Mama taught. Move, stand up, talk according to English language. It's just an instrument now going hello, 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 teaching. The instrument, one instrument knows it. Another instrument may not know it. This instrument simply aligns this instrument to the reality. Now this instrument also knows it. That's the purpose of the Guru Shishya Parampara. Just alignment. Hey, let's align our minds and see the reality. So the 3 bodies become, Andrei becomes, Tanya becomes, Jen becomes Drishya. This mind becomes Drishya. This is mind. Hello, welcome to your mind. You're looking at mind right now. In the presence of awareness, there is mind. This is mind. There's awareness of mind. This is your mind right now. What is mind? You're looking at the mind. The mind is known to you right now. This is mind. Look, wall, person, this is mind. But there is awareness of this mind, isn't there? That's Brahman. Therefore, mind is drshya, seen, and awareness is drik, the seer, or Brahman. The word Brahman just means big, not like pen big, or Eiffel Tower big, or sun big, but limitlessly big.
This will be right in the presence of awareness, Ninu is sitting.
Yeah.
Everything is happening in the presence of awareness.
Yeah, in the presence of awareness, Ninu's body-mind is now talking to this appliance. Yeah. But there's awareness because of I. And I cannot claim that I to be just here, that I is also illuminating this experience. That's why there's no doubt that this instrument now knows that this is now happening. It's absolutely conscious.
Awareness is also, awareness is illuminating this
Mind, yeah.
this
The-
body mind.
Yes. Right now, the reason why there's awareness of this experience is because of I, awareness, Brahman. Ow! This instrument felt pain. Did this instrument feel the pain? No. Because at the level of bubbles, instruments, there's a difference. At the level of awareness is one. So why is there awareness now? Because of your mind? Because of? Because of one eye, Brahman. Okay, and then verse 32. No birth, death, or sense-object connection. That's basically what we said. Dehan yatvat na me janma jara karshya laya dayaha shabdadi vishayaihi sangaha nirindriyataya nacha. So we'll look at the body now. And the body goes through 6 stages according to the Vedas. You can say it goes through 1,000,000 changes, but just for the sake of discussion, it goes through 6 changes, your body. Your body is not asti, because that's the one you survive. What's the first? Born. Jayate, yeah. So body is born. So Jayate, born. Now, assuming it's born and it survives, which is asti. I know asti can be also fetus model, but I'm putting. Huh?
Usually it comes first.
I know, but I'm using a different model because you've seen this before 1,000,000 times, so I want to keep on challenging you. Okay, so the body is born, assuming it survives, what comes now? All of the other stages, right? That's the logic. So assuming it survives, now you got vardhate, which is, so survives. Vardhate, which is grows. So grows, I guess, is that stage of growing, growing up from the small baby. Vardhate, then viparinamate, which is it matures. So this is maybe around 25 or something, right? Oh, the puberty is gone, and it's all gone now. You got strong muscles. You're at the peak of your mental capacity. Viparinamate, matures. And then apakshiyate, apakshasha, I think that's the bottom one. Apakshiyate, which is basically it decays. And vinashyati, which is it dies. Okay, so these are the 6 stages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Does awareness get born? Does awareness get born? No. If awareness got born, what would be the problem with that? Yeah, it would die. But not only that, there's not one moment in your life can you experience awareness being born for the first time. If awareness was born, that means I would have to wait, right, for awareness to suddenly appear. But we already said that awareness is the truth of all things, which is attributeless and beyond time and space. So if something is attributeless, how can an attributeless thing, not that it's a thing, how can that die? How can that be born? Only a form can get born. Formless cannot be born and it cannot die. So this means there will be never a time when awareness is born for you. There will be never a time when I get moksha. Think about this. There will be never a time when I suddenly recognize, I've gotten awareness. Moksha is not about gaining awareness, it's about recognizing it was never apart from me. That's why it was last verse yesterday, I'm not even moksha. Remember that? Very nice. Because I was never bound to begin with. I was never born. Moksha is for the subtle body, he said. For the jiva, for Atma, who thought I was as good as these three bodies. Moksha is for that one. Does, asti, we'll skip that because awareness is always asti. Vartate, does awareness grow? I'm going to grow my awareness. I'm going to mature it up. Where does growth happen? At the level of the mind. Now, have you ever heard, my awareness is expanding? What is that? What do they mean when they say this?
Vision is broader. Broader vision.
Yeah, broader vision. That means I'm getting more knowledge in my mind. In that sense, my awareness is expanding. But that's wrong language. More like my mind is just becoming more encompassing. It's able to encompass a lot more stuff. So awareness doesn't grow, therefore it doesn't diminish. So is your awareness ever going to be less? Will you ever be more aware? Will you ever be less aware? No, awareness is awareness. Less or more is in reference to the mind. Understand this. There will never be a time when you are more aware than right now.
Alertness.
Huh?
Mistake with alertness.
What?
Alertness and awareness.
Alert. Yeah, alertness is the mind. There will never be a time when you are more aware than right now. Think about this. That means there's nothing to sort of look forward to. I want to be more aware, more aware. Forget about it. This is pseudo. That's what we accept. I can accept now. Oh, this is how it is. It's always going to be like this. Becoming a Buddha, you're not going to be more aware. Becoming a Ramana, Maharishi, you're not going to be more aware. One has just come to accept this is awareness. In the presence of it, mind goes through its things, left and right. Matures, same idea. Decays. Does awareness decay? Does it erode away? No, because it was never born. You can only apply that to what was born. And does awareness die? Awareness doesn't die because it is the substance of all that is. If it dies, then what is it going to go into? Another awareness? Another reality? If all that is here is one, then nothing can die. That's why we say Purnamadav Purnamidam. From the whole, that is the whole thing is the whole, Brahman is the whole, this manifestation is also the whole. That means the manifestation is none other than Brahman. Purnam Adaha. Purnam Idam. So Purnam, that means Adaha, Brahman is the whole. Idam, this is also none other than Brahman. It's a Satyamiti relationship. Purnat, Purnamadaya, Purnameva, Purnamadav, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. From the whole, Purna, that's an ablative. From the whole, you take the whole. From, how should I say this? From the, here, from this I take away the pot. Have I really taken away anything out? Just the name and form. But the substance remains. Purnasya Purnameva Shishyate. Of the whole, I take only the whole remains. I haven't taken anything from anything. It's like taking this clay from taking this pot from the clay. I haven't touched the clay at all. So the pot is the whole thing, isn't it? The clay is the whole thing. You take the pot from the clay, I still have the clay. No change. So when we chant this, what are we really saying? Remind yourself when we chant this. I can't be out of existence. I can't get reduced. Everything is already here, now. I will never be outside of wholeness. I am wholeness. That's really beautiful to hear. Until then, the person is not going to rest, because all a person wants is wholeness. So no school is going to satisfy, which is teaching Dwight or this or that. Until you recognize your wholeness, because as I said yesterday, you won't stop. That's why coming together, merging is so pleasing. Because I'm whole for a moment. Moksha is that wholeness permanently. So if everyone is seeking that merger, that togetherness, that sense of oneness, Advaitin, a Vishishta Advaitin is also doing. It shows you that we are only ever seeking what we are. Because you only seek what you are. You don't seek what you are not. Nobody seeks pain. We seek happiness. And in that happiness, there is a oneness. There is a taster of oneness. That's why everyone wants happiness. Because it is this non-dual recognition of my nature. And it's so pleasing that we want it again and again and again. Therefore, your nature becomes, or is, this one non-dual self in whom everything is right now. Right now. The whole thing is you. There's nothing other than you. Ishvara is in you. You are free. Limitless. The word limitless doesn't even do justice to what limitless really means. The word limitless in English is an insult to what the word limitless really means. Insult. How dare you speak of limitless, Andre? You don't even understand. Your mind cannot capture what limitless really means. But we can attempt to. So moksha is not some small thing. It's the only thing worthy of pursuit. Everything else is just a taster, a lick, just a little taster. Hey, come closer. Bhagavan is just moving, reshuffling you around in this world, from person to person, teacher to teacher, teaching to teaching, making you closer. Eventually you solve the problem. And you are one with yourself. I am now the whole. You are in me. And the rishis have already provided this for us. To them we thank. To them all of our gratitude gets extended, which then goes to Ishvara. So who has been your savior all this time? Ishvara. That's why I dedicate and I worship and I devote to Ishvara. Because the whole thing was just God putting me closer to Him, little by little by little. Everything else was just incidental. The characters I met, the people I said things to, I am sorry to them. But little by little, I am coming closer to the only thing that is, which is I. The amount of emotion when I speak this, the amount of love, the amount of, I can't even communicate how big this vision is. So I hope that it gets transferred and it gets taken home and you recognize the immensity of freedom. Okay, and there's one more thing. So, right, when your senses decline, right, knowing yourself, right, is that going to suddenly give you better eyesight? You know, more strength? No. So this means the body, being empirical, will continue to go through things. This I have to appreciate, but it doesn't anymore touch me. Like Simon said once, you have a certain objectivity. So yes, there's pain, but it becomes much easier to deal with because there's a certain recognition that this is just something that I have to go through for a few more years. Oh.